This is CNC World, a new perspective.
During his first day in China, Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev met Chinese leaders in Beijing on Tuesday. On this tight schedule, he also paid a visit to China's Xinhua News Agency, the parent company of CNC, to chat with Chinese netizens via xinhuanet.com. The Russia leader said China-Russia relations have reached an unprecedented high level, and he highlights the role of BRICS countries and other emerging economies in the global economic growth. Now we take a look at Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev's online chat with Chinese netizens at CNC Studio in the Xinhua News Agency on Tuesday.
Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to our studio. Now I see that we have already received more than 2,100 posts on our website. Many have asked questions relating to Sino-Russian ties. Now here's a question from Hua Ruoxian. Leaders from both China and Russia have agreed that bilateral relations have reached an unprecedented high level. What do you think of that?
I fully agree that China-Russia relations have reached unprecedented levels in terms of the depth and breadth of the ties. I myself have witnessed great progress in bilateral ties in recent years. What China and Russia have now is a comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership. Behind this bilateral partnership lies huge trade figures. At the moment, two-way trade stands at nearly $100 billion per year. During my meeting with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang today, we discussed trade and agreed that $100 billion is not the maximum. We can even make it $150 billion or $200 billion or more. But that figure is only one of the important measures of our economic cooperation. To further boost ties, we should also improve the quality of our cooperation. Now we are working together in many ways, including energy and cultural exchanges. Our two countries have organised many large-scale bilateral events. Since 2006, we have held reciprocal events, including the Year of Russia in China in 2006, the Year of China in Russia in 2007, language years in 2009 and 2010, as well as tourism years. The two countries will soon launch the China-Russia Youth-Friendly Exchange Year. This is a height in bilateral relations we've never reached before, and that's important considering we are neighbours.
As we can see, bilateral investment and cooperation is also of interest to some netizens. Do you think Chinese companies could play a role in the development of Russia's Far East region? What will the Russian government do to protect foreign investors' interests?
First of all, I'd like to stress that some Chinese companies have already joined in the development of Russia's Far East region, and we have cooperated with our Chinese partners on many projects. They include big enterprises in the energy, chemical industry and mineral sources sectors, as well as small and medium-sized firms in the field of agriculture and other areas. We are already partners in the Far East region. Of course, we are looking forward and expect more Chinese companies to invest in Russia. As for the protection of foreign investors, we will always look to protect all foreign investors. Those from China are no exception, because they, like anyone else, are our partners. We have a special foreign investment management system, which not only helps channel the investment, but also provides protection for the investors, including protection from courts and other administrative organisations. We won't let them feel as though they are being treated unfairly, because otherwise no one will make investments in our country, which is something that we certainly would not like to see. I hope our Chinese counterparts will do the same, as many Russian companies have also invested in China.
Energy cooperation is fundamental to economic cooperation between the two countries. What problems do you think need to be addressed in this regard?
Energy is indeed a very important area of our cooperation. Russia is rich in natural resources, while China has a huge market. China needs more energy products. In fact, today and in earlier meetings with Chinese leaders and entrepreneurs, We have discussed various issues relating to different aspects of energy cooperation. For example, our cooperation in the oil industry has reached a very high level. Today, the two sides signed a series of documents. One agreement is that we will supply an additional 10 million tons of crude oil each year to China. This will be done by Russia's biggest oil company, Rosneft. That means 100 million tons over the next 10 years, worth a total of $85 billion. It's a big sum of money to any country, even to China, and it proves the fact that we have reached a higher and a brand new level of cooperation. Another example is that the two countries will construct a joint venture oil refinery in Tianjin, which will be able to refine 16 million tons of crude oil each year. It is a high-tech project which will employ the most advanced oil refinery technologies. The two sides signed a deal on this, which is among the many agreements we've made today. Another area in which the two sides can work together is natural gas. We have basically agreed on a price-setting formula for Russian gas which is to be exported to China. Now we are negotiating the price itself. Although the issue is relatively tough, I'm sure we will reach a consensus soon, and Russia will supply natural gas to China through pipelines as soon as possible. Nuclear energy is also an area where we can cooperate. Everyone is very cautious over nuclear power, especially after Japan's Fukushima nuclear disaster. But everyone understands that a country, be it Russia or China, cannot develop without nuclear energy. Countries which don't use nuclear energy can find it difficult to satisfy sectors that were once provided with nuclear power. The nuclear power plant we jointly built in China is a good example of our nuclear cooperation. It has 4 reactors. So bilateral cooperation over nuclear energy has a very promising future.
Now here's a question from He Zhisou. What role could emerging economies play in the recovery of the world economy and construction of a new international trade regime?
Only with the participation of emerging economies will the world economy have a promising future. If the BRICS nations of China, India, Brazil, South Africa and Russia cannot contribute to the steady development of the world economy, nothing will be achieved. I believe BRICS countries and other emerging economies will be a major driving force for global economic growth. Of course, BRICS nations and other emerging economies have their own problems, but their potential is great, and that could offset some shortcomings of developed nations whose economies are in hard times. As we have seen in recent years, the European Union, Russia's largest trade partner, is facing economic recession, and the area as a whole is not expected to see growth this year. The US economy is also experiencing hard times. Now there are some positive signs, but generally speaking, the situation overall is not promising. There has been a fiscal battle in Congress which caused big losses to its economy. So if there's no contribution from emerging economies, the world economy will remain very sluggish. The International Monetary Fund has also cut its growth forecast for the world economy. Growth was expected to be higher, but now the forecast is only set at 2 to 3% this year. Therefore, without coordination in the international monetary system and among international financial institutions, we cannot succeed. We will work hard to cooperate within the various mechanisms available, including the G20 and BRICS.
Medvedev, in his online chat with Chinese netizens, also covered topics related to anti-corruption efforts and experience of both countries' tourism and language study. And he hailed China's ancient philosopher Lao Tzu for his wisdom in handling challenges. The Russian leader also offered a signed album of his own photography to one lucky netizen.
This is CNC World, a new perspective.